Hello there. This help desk case is a little bit hard to explain via text or via email, so I wanted to take the liberty of making a short video that I uploaded to YouTube to help illustrate the issue that we're having here. To start off, I want to show you a jurisdiction ID that I have, a tax jurisdiction ID of Maryland, MD, tax percentage of 6%, and we're going to have in this example, the incoming freight is taxable. Okay, so even though Maryland doesn't have taxable freight, North Carolina does. It's just an easier example for just this simple exercise right here. So for Maryland, I've got a tax jurisdiction that's incoming and outgoing freight is taxable. So I just wanted you to see that. Now, if I go ahead and place an order for an account, so we can see that this account is linked to the tax group of Maryland that only has the jurisdiction ID of Maryland, the 6% tax that we just saw where the freight is taxable. So I'm going to add a product, quantity of 1. Okay, I'm going to leave it allocated. I'm going to change the price to $10 just to make this easier for our exercise. So I'm going to go to the totals tab. So since the subtotal of this order is $10 with a 6% tax at 60 cents, the total order should be $10.60, and that's what it's going to be, $10.60. Now I'm going to unallocate this, recalculate just to show you that it's not changing. It's still $10.60. It's exactly what it's supposed to be. I'm going to manually add $1 in freight. Okay? So now that I've added $1 in freight, if I recalculate, it's now accurate because the subtotal is $10. The freight is $1, but the freight is now taxable. So if I take $11 times 0.06, 6% of $11 is 66 cents. So $11.66 is the correct total for this order. However, if I allocate this material and then recalculate, notice that the tax goes from 66 cents to 72 cents. It increases 6 cents. 6 cents is the 6% tax on the freight. So whenever I have in tax jurisdiction maintenance, any tax jurisdictions that have yes to the incoming freight as being taxable, and I've also tested this with the outgoing being no. So it's the incoming freight is taxable. When this is selected as yes, what the system is doing is that it is for product that's allocated that has freight applied to the product, it's double charging the tax on the freight. That's what it's doing. If it's not allocated, it's only doing it once like it's supposed to. So if I unallocate it again, it's going to go down to 66 cents, $11.66. But once I allocate the material, it's adding that freight to it all over again. So that's what our issue is. So one additional thing I want to point out here is in the order, if I go back into it, I recently just invoiced it. And before I invoiced it, I sent myself an order acknowledgement. The order acknowledgement shows the correct value due of $10.66. And when I invoiced it, the value on the invoice was $10.66. But again, if I go into the totals tab, well, shoot, it's not showing allocated now, so it's not. Okay, yeah, I should have. So before, when it was actually showing in the allocated column, that changed to 1172 because you saw that earlier in the video. Well, now if I pull up the order acknowledgement that I sent myself, if I can try to bring it over to the screen that I'm recording, that would be great. We can see it says 1166, not the 1172 that we saw before, with the special order freight in there of $1. And same thing with the invoice. So the invoice was created is $11.66. So in all the, everything is accurate with the exception of what's showing on the remittances tab and the total tab when the tax is on there twice. And this is basically what's happening. We're placing an order, and I'll try to do another example of it and try to simulate it in real time for you. So cash sale Owings Mills. Okay, so I'll enter, again, we'll just make it nice and easy. And we're going to pretend that this is a special order item. Okay, so we're going to assume I don't have this product. We'll make that price $10 just because the numbers are easy. So I'm going to choose to go ahead and special order this item. And I'm going to have it come in via UPS Ground. And it's going to have $1 in freight. So the value of this order for $10 plus $1 in freight, it's all taxable. We can go to the tax tab in this example. It's 6%. We now know it should be $10.66. So when I go to the totals tab, it says $11.66, or not $10, $11.66 because of the freight. And when I go to the remittances tab, it also shows $11.66. Okay, so I will take payment from the customer. I'll apply the payment. Now, let's see if I can even do it here. I'll do cash. I don't know if I have an open cash door because I'm working in Play Now. I hope it'll let me. I have a feeling it won't. Oh, good. So I paid for this order. So my customer paid for the order. I don't need to place the purchase order. So let's say that material then comes in. Okay, so I'm going to go back into the order. I'm going to choose to allocate the material because I actually have it now. We're going to pretend that we have it. Now, if you remember, we've already paid for it. So when I go to the remittances tab just to make sure that this order is paid for before we let the customer leave with it, it's showing a balance due of 6 cents. That extra 6 cents. So when I go back to my totals tab, it shows the balance due is $11.72 when I've already paid $11.66. So when I print out a copy of this order, I'll go front counter and I'll show you front counter. Email order acknowledgement. So when I pull up the order acknowledgement, we can see amount tendered $11.66, amount due 0. Okay, so now my employee is really confused because okay, I just printed out a copy of this. It shows that the amount tendered is $11.66. There's nothing due, but if I go back into the order and go to the remittances tab, it shows that there's 6 cents that's due. And then if I were to invoice that, again, the invoice is going to be correct for $10 or $11.66. Nothing is going to show due on account, just like we showed here. So this was the other one I invoiced. The invoice amount is $11.66. I didn't apply any payment to this other example. So the order acknowledgement is accurate, the invoice is accurate, it's just the remittances tab and the totals tab that's displaying that amount due that's not accurate, and that's leading to confusion by my employees. Obviously, we're telling customers that there's a balance due. The customers are thinking they already paid for it, so it's really kind of causing some confusion.